What is up? I'm MY John here. I'll be casting the SECS Season 15 playoffs, the quarterfinals and semifinals. And for the first match here, we have the 1 seed Josh Tabak Dota versus the 8 seed Team Undefined. And it's going to be an interesting tournament, and hopefully we'll get the best out of all these teams. These matches will be best of 1, so it's do or die right now, and we'll see what they can bring for us as we get going. Josh Tabak Dota, of course, taking a couple legs of the season that put them in that 1 seed coming into the tournament. Undefined, a team I haven't seen too much, but some familiar names going on there, so perhaps they have something to bring to the table to try and shock the favorite, which of course would be JT. And JT starting off with a Rubik first pick. We can go through the bends and see what they've taken out. Undefined decided to take out Darkseer, Furion, and Morphling. Morphling, a hero that Smurf is known to play pretty often. His other main hero, Lone Druid, is still available in the pool. We'll see if he goes for that with one of the next picks. We see Josh Tabak, meanwhile, took out Naga Siren, as well as Lycan and Leshrac. So, pretty standard, nothing really out of the ordinary. A Leshrac ban is a little bit out there and does leave a couple more heroes open, but it's nothing too influential, I suppose, on the actual outcome of the match. But we do see Undefined with their first 2 picks. They're going to pick up Templar Assassin and add a Chen to that. So going to get a little bit of the push, and the dominant hero we saw from TI2, Templar Assassin, really powerful in that mid lane capacity. No one can really put up that good of a fight against her. She can at least manage against most heroes. I think if you duel mid, it creates obviously a greater problem for Templar Assassin, but committing those resources is, of course, a step that some teams don't want to have to take. So we'll see how this actually plays out, but we'll assume Templar Assassin is going to fulfill that mid role right now. And we'll see if Rubik's going to be a solo or if he's going to be a support Rubik too as we move forward. I do recall Tobacco playing Rubik as a solo pretty often in the past, as I do have a history of casting some JT games dating back to the Fnatic Raid Call playoffs where they took that tournament. And we do have JT picking up Enigma as well as Venomancer. So, going to get that really strong support in the Venomancer. Gives them a good laning phase. And Enigma, of course, that dominant jungle. Probably see that in the hands of Whitebeard playing that role. And now the third pick coming out for Undefined. What do they want to round up their 3 with? Before we go into the second stage of bans, both teams already having that jungle role. So, there's not going to be anything going on in terms of that in the banning phase. We'll see Templar Assassin plus Chen. They could go for a long laner here if they want to secure that. Also a carrier if they want to take Animage. That's always going to be an option. Lone Druid's still in the pool, and there's the Animage pick. So they pick up the carry, and that will be a solid option to round out their 3. And what can JT do to contest the farm of an Animage? We'll see how aggressive they can bring. They're going to ban out Brood with their 4th selection. So we will not see Brood Mother in this game. There's the Lone Druid ban from Undefined. Now the 5th ban from JT, their final ban before they go into the second stage of picks. We will see what they want to take out momentarily here. I want to thank everyone that's tuning in. Once again, if you're just joining, this is the SECS Season 15 playoffs. This is the quarterfinals. I'll be casting a quarterfinal matchup and a semifinal matchup. They're all going to be best of 1, and I am the opening act for none other than Mad Mortigan, who will be casting the best of 3 finals. So be sure to tune in for that. That is going to be awesome, pulling him out of retirement to come back to where he started. And now the 5th ban, we're going to extra time, it looks like. I have football in the mind. I almost said overtime, but that is not the case. And we'll see what JT want to take out here. I mean, there's no long laner in the lineup for Undefined. If they want to go that route, Windrunner is a viable option. They could also take out the long lane Tide, which has been really popular as of late. Of course, any hero that gives a lot of teamfight control combos well with the Animage, and Tide will be the option, so they decide to take him out. His huge teamfight potential will not be available for Undefined, and Undefined decide to take out Riki Maru, a hero that is sneakily powerful against an Animage. He, of course, needs that tremendous early start to really get going. We won't see him in this one, though. And JT decide to pick up the Beastmaster. So their long lane hero will be Beastmaster. Having that roar is going to be very powerful, especially as you reach the mid-game phase. And now the final pick for Undefined, or not the final, the 4th pick, rather. Getting ahead of myself. They don't need to worry about picking up the long laner now if they don't want to because of the circumstances. They could pick up a Crystal Maiden hero, be a good support. It gives them options with the Animage. And they are looking in that support department. They're going to pick up Windrunner first, though. And an interesting option. They didn't really have to worry about her being selected, I don't believe. And now it looks like JT are going to be looking for a carry, so something to really round up their lineup. We'll see what they want to pick to fulfill that capacity. This is probably going to be Smurf's hero. If we assume Enigma's in the jungle, Rubik's at solo, Beastmaster's long lane, Venomancer, it could be something like a Dragon Knight. He does work pretty well against Animage in the early stages of the game. Of course, Animage is a much harder carry as you progress. If they want to go the much more aggressive route, they can pick up something like a Brewmaster as well. So we'll see what their decision is momentarily. They're going to dip into their extra time. Might as well use it all up. It is the final pick. Like I said earlier, Josh Tabak Dota are the favorites. They're the ranked number 1 seed. I believe they took 2 legs of the SECS, which is usually a monthly set for this season. Meanwhile, Undefined narrowly making it into the playoffs in that 8 seed. But we'll see, in a best of 1, anything can happen. We don't know who will come out of this. And look at this, JT pick up a Juggernaut. So they're going to be very aggressive early and bring the fight to Undefined. What do Undefined have to try and contest this? Crystal Maiden is still a good support option, but not that great against Juggernaut. With his spin, of course, he can pop right out of any Frostbite you throw at him. Of course, dodge the slow as well. So we'll see if they want to go that route still, or if they want to pick something perhaps a little bit more aggressive to try and fend off the pushing that's probably going to come from JT. Something like a Lina wouldn't be a bad option, just to throw out those nukes, because it will slow down the aggressive outlook that JT has right now based on their picks.
Reserve time.
They're going to take their time on this decision as well. So Rubik versus Templar Assassin middle is going to be an interesting match. Rubik, of course, with that Fade Bolt, can take away some damage from Templar Assassin, but it's pretty much going to be canceled out by the extra refraction damage. And therefore, you have to assume that Templar Assassin will get a fair share of the CS, if not the better share of CS in the middle lane. We'll see what they can do to try and slow down the Templar Assassin, because in the past we've seen a lot of Templar Assassins really get going early and just snowball out of control, where they have this map presence all across the board and are able to kind of act on their whim. They don't really have to be too concerned about jumping in. Of course, Venomancer is a good countermeasure to Templar Assassin with that poison, and Juggernaut with the spin as well will take down the refraction pretty quickly. If they can isolate her, she won't be that much of a threat. Roar is a good option as well. So JT going to go for that early aggression. Undefined going to take out all their time, taking down to 30 seconds left before they pick their final hero. And it's going to be a Vengeful Spirit. So Vengeful Spirit, of course, good against Enigma. So not a bad option. However, the short-range hero is going to be problematic if Juggernaut can get in there and really focus her down. It's going to be a little bit of a hassle for them to deal with. So we'll go over the Undefined lineup first. We have Chicken MC playing the Animage. We have Lopert playing Vengeful Spirit. Incarnate playing Windrunner. Asway on Chen. And Orbit playing the Templar Assassin. That is the Dire team Undefined. Meanwhile, for the Radiant team, we have Josh Tabak Dota. They're going to be putting Smurf on that Juggernaut. We have Whitebeard playing the Enigma. Rolo on Venomancer. Tobacco will be on that Rubik. And Derp Derp rounding it up playing Beastmaster. So that's going to be their full lineup. And it looks like there's going to be a 5-man rotation from Undefined early on, while Josh Tabak are just all going to their normal lanes. So we'll see if this has any repercussions, but it doesn't look like Beastmaster is going to take too many risks at all. He comes up and cuts down the trees. A pretty standard move to create the extra vision against a Tri-Lane scenario. Meanwhile, this bottom lane is going to be very difficult for whoever they throw down here to really cope with. Having that Juggernaut plus that slow from the Venomancer. If a Malefice stun comes in, Windrunner will even have a very difficult time. Malefice at level 2 is going to waste some of the duration of Windrun, and we do have an early pause coming out. So hopefully this can be resolved momentarily. Thank you for everyone that's joining me. One more time, this is the SECS Season 15 Playoffs. I'm MY John, your shoutcasting host. And we have Josh Tabak Dota, the 1 seed, versus Undefined, the 8 seed. It's best of 1, so anything can happen. Seeding puts the teams together, but in a best of 1 format, you have to assume both teams have a really good chance of winning. And JT going with the risky pick, picking up Juggernaut. If they can't get things going early, they could put themselves in a hole and end up getting upset here. And it looks like we're about to get back into the play. Yep. So not too long of a pause there, thankfully. And I think a lot of JT's success in the early phases is going to be reliant on Enigma getting involved. You hear pretty often how Enigma is a strong farming jungler, but once you have the Malphite level 2 or level 3, around those 3rd and 5th level for him, it's really important to get in the lane and secure a couple of kills. Rolo's going to run into Incarnate here and put a little bit of harass damage on him, but Incarnate is going to back off. Doesn't want to take any risks, and now this ward is going to be spotted off by Incarnate. We'll see if they're going to try and counter ward that early on. The pull is also warded here. Rolo does not have any sentries yet, though, so we'll keep that in mind. Smurf cutting down some trees in the bottom lane. Some nice gear on Juggernaut as well, cosmetic-wise. And the middle lane's going to be interesting to watch to see who really gets the better of this. Like I said earlier, I think Templar Assassin has a good edge in terms of the damage output. We'll see if Tobacco can try and mitigate some of that by using Fade Bolt wisely and perhaps the disables as well. And now Rolo going to put harass on Incarnate while he can. Incarnate going to pop off the Windrunner and turn around and just put some more autos on Rolo. Try and burn through some of his regen so he can't really bully him out of a lane as effectively. Asway on the top lane does pick up a Wildkin. We'll see how much experience Beastmaster's going to be able to get. He hasn't stacked up or gone back to stack up yet. Of course, it's only 1 minute into the game, so that only means he missed 1 stack, and we'll see if he's going to be forced back there sooner or later. Leopard is pulling, so for right now, Beastmaster is going to get lane experience, and this is going to be very big for him because the same cannot be said of Windrunner on the bottom lane. Beastmaster about to hit level 2. Windrunner has gotten 0 experience, so this is a minor victory for JT right now on this top lane because of the option to pull and also having the jungler there. They can't really bully him out quite as effectively as you'd like. So Beastmaster going to take full advantage of that derp. Of course, a very good long lane player, and he'll try and make the most out of what he can. Get as much experience early and then go back to stacking. There's no need to force it right away. Tobacco's going to have the bottle delivered out to him momentarily. We'll probably see the same from Orbit on his Templar Assassin. We'll keep the middle lane pretty equal. Top farm is going to be 12 and 4 on Juggernaut right now, as you would expect out of the free farm Jugger. Meanwhile, Animates are behind by a little bit, but nothing too big right now. 9 and 5. Couple lines drawn on the map. They know where Enigma is, but I don't think anyone could really afford to pressure him yet. Incarnate in the lane still... Oh, he's gotten a little bit of experience, so 62 out of 200. And he'll get a little bit more here. Rolo is in the wings, just trying to keep him back a little bit more. And does pick up that Poison Sting level 2 so that he can do that extra bit of harass damage. Orbit does get a haste in the middle lane, and now the bottle has been delivered to him, so looking pretty good for him. We can see 13 for 2 on Templar Assassin against 9 for 4, now 10 for 4 on Rubik. So a slight edge. And there we go. Beastmaster's going to back up and start stacking now. He got a fair share of experience, though, so he's going to be pretty happy with that effort. Now Smurf going to extend past the wave to try and keep Windrunner out of here a little bit more effectively on the bottom. Rolo doing the same. Meanwhile, in the jungle, we do see Enigma 13 for 1 against Chen's 14 for 0, so very even between the two junglers. None of them opting to get involved too early, as we do hit the 3.5 minute mark in this game. There goes a nice Venomous Gale, but Incarnate is going to be able to get out of this just narrowly out of range of the Juggernaut spin. But Smurf is going to keep going. He's under the second tower now. He's putting himself in harm's way. He's got to be very careful. This could be the first blood kill. They're going to pop off a salve, and now it's going to be turned around on Smurf. And first blood for Incarnate. Windrunner takes down Juggernaut under the tier 2 on the bottom lane. A huge kill for Team Undefined. And overzealous action coming out there from Smurf, and he gets punished for it. That is a huge victory. It completely turns around that whole experience jostling I was talking about earlier. Now Windrunner at level 3, looking pretty solid, and getting that salve off was essentially what secured it for her. Either way, it looked like Smurf was going to go down, and I'm not sure if Venomancer was really right behind him in the dive. Perhaps that would have been the difference maker, but what's done is done, and now Smurf giving up her free first blood. That is not what he wanted. Windrunner might be able to pick up boots now, and yes, she does actually, tranquil boots. Meanwhile, we see Templar Assassin going to bottle up the bottom rune. It's going to be an illusion rune as she head back to middle lane. Update on our CSs. We see 21 for 3 against 18 for 5, so it's not quite as lopsided as I expected. Tobacco doing a good job of staying in the CS war. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we now see Derp. He's level 3, so his experience gain has slowed down. We do see now Windrunner has passed him by a slight margin, and he's going to back up as this wave pushes into his tower. This is going to be another positive for him. Pretty slow early game. They're not applying too much pressure to the Beastmaster. Not trying to go for kills on him quite yet. We'll see what kind of creeps Chen are looking at. Chen just picks up a Dark Troll Warlord, so this could be the opening to try and find a gank and get on top of that Beastmaster. If he wants to wrap around from behind with a smoke gank, that wouldn't be a bad option. Sentry's also up on Vengeful, so if he wants to go ahead and try some counter warding, they're going to throw the illusions under the tower to try and apply some pressure to Rubik, but that will not do all too much. And now we see Enigma coming in the bottom lane. This could be trouble for Incarnate. He's going to stop to put off a power shot. Now he's in harm's way. The Maleficent stun's going to slow him down. Rolo's going to hit him with a Gale. No, yes, the Gale does hit. And now they're going to go for the dive yet again, but this time it looks like they're going to be able to get it. Smurf going for the kill on top of Incarnate, and he gets it. Revenge kill there for Juggernaut on Windrunner, as now they can push the lane a little bit on the back end of that successful gank. Enigma coming out of the jungle, able to initiate properly on Windrunner. Windrunner perhaps staying up a little bit too far, not having any vision over here in the jungle. Just passing that line is always going to be dangerous when you don't know where that Enigma is. This bottom tower is going to take a slight bit of damage. It's dropping down. The glyph has already been used, so around half health already. Juggernaut does have that level 1 healing ward, so he's able to stand under the tower and heal up the creeps as well as himself and his allies while he continues to push. Of course, a very favored pick by Juggernaut players when we do see him, which is not all too often, but the healing ward often underrated because of the fact that it is percent based. So it does scale, and this tower looks like it's going to go down. Windrunner goes for the deny, but misses it as Enigma gets the tower kill, and that's the first tower down of the game in favor of JT, and this is what their battle plan was. They want that early aggression on the back of that Juggernaut play. Enigma getting involved. He is now level 6, so Black Hole is available. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this popped on Windrunner to try and attempt for another kill and try and go for more tower pressure on the back end of that, knowing that the glyph is down. This is a pretty good look for JT right now. The kill score is 1-1. We're 7 minutes into this game. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, 35-4 against 32 for 7, so it remains a very even battle, and I'd say if it stays even, it's going to be favoring Rubik. Since Templar Assassin really wants to get kills and get involved across the map, Rubik staying stride for stride is kind of preventing her from doing so effectively. We do see now Telekinesis is going to pop off on the Venomous Gale. The follow Orbit may be in trouble here. He doesn't have enough mana for a refraction. He just picks up enough mana, and this may save him. Tobacco's going to pop off his own refraction as well, and now a Psionic Trap is going to slow them down, and they don't go for the dive on the middle lane. Whitebeard coming in, but just a little too late, not able to secure the kill there on Templar Assassin. He'll get away safely, and now pop off some of his regen rune actually, and heal back to full. Come back here and try and slow down this push as JT look for this middle tier 1. We do see Chen looming on the side, and he's going to come in a moment here, and they're going to try and get something going. I'm not sure they knew Orbit had a regen rune, and now Net's going to come on Whitebeard, but nothing to follow up. A little bit of a wasted opportunity. They're going to go ahead and use the Test of Faith on him to give him more damage. Orbit's going to pop off a Psionic Trap. Now Tobacco's going to take some damage, and down goes Whitebeard. That's the first kill. We see Rolo go down as well, and Tobacco forced to back off, so 2 kills for Undefined there, as JT overextending a slight bit, not knowing where those heroes were on the map. Windrunner coming up from the bottom lane, as well as Vengeful and Chem rotating down from their own jungle. Terp on the top lane is now level 5. With this lane pushing, he's going to back up a little bit. He's afraid of Chicken MC and the damage he can output on him, so Terp going to continue to back up. The board's going to slow him down a decent bit, and now Terp going to come back in and try and salvage whatever experience he can out of there. This might get him level 6, and that's going to be huge for JT if they can get that level 6 up and have more movement coming out from Beastmaster sooner than later. Meanwhile, a little bit of pressure on the middle lane as the lane is pushed forward by Templar Assassin, but no real follow-up. Nothing to come. She also has bottled up an illusion room. We can take a look at some of the early items. Phase Boots picked up on Templar Assassin. Nothing out of the ordinary there. Rubik opts for Arcane Boots, so that will help out his team as well as his mana pool a decent bit. Venomancer now coming around from the side, perhaps looking for this kill here. Telekinesis puts Orbit up in the air. He's going to get slowed down by the Gale here. Do they have enough damage? It looks like Tobacco is out of mana. Whitebeard coming in from the back, though. Meld used by Orbit, and they don't have anything to reveal this, so he will get away safely as he pops the illusion rune and backs up. Meanwhile, we see Smurf backing up all the way to base. He picks up an early Midas, so an interesting choice for a team you expect to be aggressive. Usually Midas isn't the favorite option. Something like a Vlad's, something like a defensive item, perhaps even a Vanguard wouldn't be that bad of a choice since you are diving pretty often. But now the healing ward popped, and they're going to go ahead and full force onto this tier 1 tower in the middle lane. No glyph available. It's already dropping pretty quickly. We see the Troll Warlord coming in, going to go ahead and net down Tobacco, but no follow-up. Once again, Fable going to pop and kill off that Warlord. Chen not going to be too happy about that. Smurf can take a good amount of damage, but he still has half health as well as his spin available. And they're not really backing off of the push yet. Meanwhile, Enemy just getting free from on the top lane. Here we go. Vengeful Spirit gonna get roared off in the middle of the fight. Chen trying to send him back, but not in time. Derp, meanwhile, gonna be taken down in response. Orbit dropping pretty low in health. Everyone needs to back up as the Sonic Trap is slowing them down. Azuri trying to put auto attacks, and now Whitebeard's gonna go down as Chicken MC TP's in and is able to finish him off. Tobacco with the refraction up, surviving for a little bit, just trying to finish off Azuri, but he is unable to do so as Templar Assassin finishes off Tobacco. Ends up being a bad trade again as the tower goes down. Denied by Undefined, so they get 2-to-1 kill trade and deny their own tower. I'd say that's a favorable exchange, and now Templar Assassin got to pick up this DD rune. 1,400 gold in the bank, looking pretty solid on her half. Going to be working towards that Blink Dagger in all likelihood. Meanwhile, Rolo with 200 gold in the bank doesn't really have much going on at the full support role. Beastmaster going to continue to stack these Ancients and try and get some more farm and levels out of those. Chicken MC, looks like he has his Claymore looking for a broadsword. Does the Chicken have anything for him? Because he doesn't have any other items. Yes, he has a broadsword on the Chicken, so he's getting really close to finishing off that early Battle Fury. That's going to be an instrumental pickup for him to try and compete the Midas, which is up already on Smurf. And Smurf also picks up Phase Boots on the back of that, so he has a lot of gold. We can check out our net worth. It's going to be Smurf in the lead by 800 more than Templar Assassin, who was in second. And not far behind Templar Assassin will be Animage. So looking pretty good for the Dire in terms of getting their farm on those carry players. However, Smurf is leading the way by a decent margin. That's not going to slow down having that Midas now. So good advantage coming out from that, picking it up early with that free farm on the bottom lane. Windrunner not able to really contest. See what they're going to be able to make out of it as we progress forward. They're still going to want to apply a lot of pressure with this lineup as early as possible. And Animage just now finishes up that Battle Fury, so now the farming will begin. Can they do anything to slow it down? Chen is only 150 gold away from an early mech. That's going to be a good pickup for him. Enigma, meanwhile, similar, about 300 gold away from his own mech. That's going to be another crucial item choice. If they can get it up around the same time, and we'll pretty much cancel each other out, depending on circumstance, of course. And we haven't seen a black hole come out from Enigma yet. He might look for one here, as we do see Loper coming forward in the lane. Now telekinesis on Chicken MC. It's going to toss him backwards. We do see the Omni Slash coming out. Loper's dropping down really quickly. He's going to be focused. Azway now in trouble. He gets roared down, and one more attack. Down he goes. Chen is dead. Tobacco going to take a little bit of focus from the stolen. Oh no, that's an Alpha Wolf. And he will put some autos on him, but Tobacco will be just fine. The healing ward is up as well. And now a tier 1 on the top lane going to be taken down. Meanwhile, we see Templar Assassin in the middle going to try and apply some counter pressure. Glyph is popped to save this middle tower. DD popped to try and go ahead and take it down as quickly as possible, but unable to do so. Now Whitebeater's in the air to try and further hinder the process. Incarnate is here too, though. And we'll see if they can do anything about it. No, it looks like the tower will be fine. Full retreat from Derp and Rolo. They might get caught off here. They have to be very careful. Incarnate coming in, as well as Lopert and Orbit. We do see a Sonic Trap going to slow them down, and now they're going to get hit by that scream of pain. Not the scream of pain, the wave, excuse me, of terror. And Derp going to go down as well, so it ends up being 2 kills there. And Smurf's going to walk right into the middle of them and try and finish off whoever he can. Orbit dropping really low. Smurf going to get the kill there. Telekinesis tosses Lopert up in the air. They're trying to get a full team turnaround here. Incarnate, 2 more autos will finish him off. Lopert's going to get away though, and Tobacco is going to try and catch back up with him. But instead they take Windrunner over the Vengeful Spirit. And a good kill there for the Radiant team. JT now only behind by 2 kills, but ahead by 2 towers. So looking pretty solid. Let's check out our gold graph to see what the actual story is. 1,500 plus gold in advantage, so not much at all. And 2,000 experience for the Dire. Enigma still hasn't popped off a black hole to my knowledge. Perhaps he used one that I missed, but couldn't have been that big if that was the case. And now they're trying to force a fight, so perhaps this is an opportunity yet again. Smurf going to go ahead and drop down that healing ward. It is level 2 now, so a little bit more for his team. Tobacco stole off the Holy Persuasion, so now he has a Dark Troll Warlord of his own, and that is going to be huge. Able to net down somebody and focus them during the fight. Also having that roar to isolate another target. These disables are going to come into big effect for JT. They're switching down to the bottom lane and going to try to go for another tier 2. Meanwhile, Animage's trying to force a trade out of this as he's applying pressure to the tier 2 on the top lane. And his farm is really getting up there as he has 900 gold in the bank. Already has those Tranquil Boots up as well. Tranquil Boots will allow him to farm for a longer duration. If he takes any damage, he could tank up some of those waves as well and heal right back up. And there's the Wave of Terror to try and slow them down a little bit, but it looks like this is going to be another free tower for JT. Tobacco coming forward a little bit to try and stop whoever's going to jump on them. But there is nobody there. Another tier 2 claim by Josh Tabak Dota. Now the full retreat as they do trade one forward. Animate's able to finish off that tower on the top lane. And for anyone that's joining late, on the middle lane, Malphite done on Templar Assassin, but there's no one here to help with the follow-up. A couple heroes rotating in, but not quite there yet. In fact, he's going to turn around and go on top of Whitebeard, and they use the Mana Void and take him down. Now Chicken MC going to try and finish off the tower as well. It's going to go down. Rolo comes in. He's in a bad spot. Durf's going to come out with the roar. He cancels it, though, and decides not to use it, and they're going to go on him. Chicken MC jumps forward. Durf going to pop the roar now. It's on top of Chicken MC. They're going to use Telekinesis to pop him in the air, but Hand of God's going to heal off both Animate and Orbit, and now Tobacco's in a bad spot as Loper comes in as well, but he steals off the Blink and is able to get a little bit further out of there. Sonic Trap's going to slow him down to put him in a more vulnerable state, but they're able to back off effectively. And what looked like a pretty easy force back from the Radiant side gets turned around. Now Chicken AC going to be in a little bit of trouble, but Smurf, does he have enough move speed to catch up here? No, the Sonic Trap will ensure that as it slows him down. For those of you just joining me, I'm MY John. This is the Sunday Evening Cup Series Season 15 quarterfinals between Josh Tabak Dota, the 1 seed on the Radiant side, versus Undefined, the 8 seed on the Dire side. This tournament, of course, brought to you by NADota.com. Be sure to check them out and sign up for future SECS events. Culmination of a month-long season. And Josh Tabak Dota are behind in kills. 11-6 is going to be the lead for Undefined. See how much that's going to really mean as they continue to try and apply pressure. Now Animage going to pick up a Stout Shield as well as Yasha actually gets rid of the Stout Shield. Needs to back up a little bit as there are 3 heroes here from the Radiant. Whitebeard able to finish off his mech. Now has 1,600 gold in the bank. We'll see if he wants to work towards a BKB next or if he wants to pick up something like a Blink to try and get in there and really get the good ult off. As White finishes off his mech as well. We have Windrunner looking towards a hood. Not quite there yet. Does have Arcane Boots up though for herself and her team. Lopert farming on the bottom lane. He's going to try and pick up whatever he can. It looks like Bracer to drums perhaps just to try and stay alive a little bit longer in these fights. And the big concern is who's going to be able to farm more effectively. On the net worth, we can see that it is a back and forth, up and down battle between NMH and Juggernaut, but now we have initiation on Asway, who's standing his ground under the tower. He's going to pop off the mech. He's going to need to use the Hand of God to stay alive. He gets it off just in time, and now Omnislash is popped off by Smurf, but he's going to be low health when he comes out of it. And now Black Hole, is it going to be used? They pop off the Malphite stun, trying to set it up. Here's the Black Hole, it catches 2, but from the backside, Orbit able to finish off Enigma. Dirk pops the roar on Chicken MC, but he's going to drop as well. Tobacco going to back up. Chicken MC with a couple more autos will be able to take down Rubik. Rolo's in a bad spot as well. He gets slowed down by the Sonic Trap. Chicken MC still following up on top of Rubik. One more auto, down he goes, and now Rolo's going to drop as well. 5 heroes dead for Josh Tabak Dota as Undefined take a huge fight in their advantage by their tier 2 tower on the top lane. And it looks like Josh Tabak Dota may have just hit a wall with their early aggression, not able to execute too well in that fight. Did they take down Chen even? Yeah, I believe Chen died. Did he buy back? No. Well, I'm not entirely sure then. I think they finished it off. They finished someone off with the Omnislash. So they got at least 1 kill out of that, but definitely not worth it. And now it looks like Undefined going to be in a good spot to perhaps go for a Roche kill, but instead they're going to go ahead and farm 3 stacks here on the Ancients. Should be a good amount of gold for Animage, who is already in a really prominent position. He's going to finish up his Manta really soon. In fact, he's coming up on enough gold momentarily. And here's going to be the Roche attempt with DD up on Animage. This should drop pretty quickly. They can also drain the armor from it pretty easily with that Wave of Terror. And down he goes. There's an Aegis for Animage, which is going to be very problematic. They haven't been able to take him down once all game. Now they have to try and do it twice. And the team fight just seems to be lacking a little bit for JT. They have Enigma's Black Hole, but he hasn't really been able to get it off. We saw from the backside, Orbit was able to kill him before he got a full duration off. And even then, it was only on 2 heroes, not quite as big as you would like it to be. There's the Blink Dagger purchased by Enigma, so he's going to try and increase his big play potential as Smurf is stalking this bottom lane. He has a Yasha up as well as his drums, but now he's going to have to back off a little bit as he realizes there's a lot of heroes here. And now we're going to see Undefined be the aggressor as they look towards this bottom tier 1. There are 4 heroes. Orbit is alone in the top lane. He does go for Deso before he goes for a Blink Dagger, so interesting choice. Smurf now does have Omni Slash up yet again. It's level 11. He's going to spin in first. Asway going to take a decent amount of damage, but the mech pops up and heals him almost entirely back up. Now Omni Slash going to be popped up in a moment. Here it goes. It's going to get decent bounces, but it catches illusions a couple times. And now the roar comes up on Chicken MC. He's jumping pretty quickly. They're going to be able to take him down. No, he blinks away as the swap out saves him from Lopert. Oh, huge play. They're able to take down Vengeful Spirit. Now the jump forward from Enigma is going to catch Incarnate, but Chen sends him back to the base with the Holy Persuasion. Big play by Chen, but Asway is going to lose his life for it. And a double kill coming out from Smurf. So finally a good engagement for the Radiant team. Orbit, meanwhile, applying pressure. This tower dropping pretty quickly. He's going to take a good amount of damage here from Juggernaut's spin, as well as the damage coming out from Rubik, and he's going to try and back off. Will he get out successfully? This is the problem with not having that Blink Dagger. He doesn't have as much mobility as he would like. He's just going to try and slow down Smurf when he gets the opportunity. And now Refraction is popped. Do they have any Invis Detection to pop him out of this here? It's going to be difficult. And it looks like they're going to pop off the Midnight Pulse and now pop off the spin, and Orbit will go down. So in the long run, they get 3 kills out of the last sequence. However, they almost lose a tier 3 tower on the top lane. It is sitting around 200 health. So that's going to be crucial as we move forward. Another split push attempt, and they could be looking at potentially a lost Rax. Is Glyph available? No, Glyph was used during that as well. So dire straits here for JT. And of course, the Aegis wasn't used by Chicken MC since a great swap out came from Vengeful Spirit to just barely save his life. And the swap plus the blink put him out of range of everybody. Thank you for everyone that's joining me. We're in the 22nd minute mark here of the quarterfinals. Josh Tabak Dota versus Undefined, the 1 seed versus the 8 seed. And right now the 8 seed seems to have the upper hand. Animage is getting really big, and they don't really have an answer. They haven't been able to kill him quite yet this game. However, the last team fight does swing a little bit in favor of JT. As we see, 8,000 gold is going to be, or 8,000 experience rather, is going to be the lead for the Dire squad. Now the bottom tier 1 is going to be taken down by Chicken MC, and he'll TP out of here pretty easily. Blink Dagger now up on Beastmaster to try and increase his potential and mobility to create some opportunities for his team in these gank attempts. Tobacco also has his 4-step up. Rolo, meanwhile, does opt for Treads and a Bracer, so around 1,000 health to try and keep him alive during some of these fights. And it's probably essential for him since they are going against an early Deso on that Templar Assassin. Slow break in the action as they're going to go and pick up the haste rune on Juggernaut. Juggernaut with 3,100 gold in the bank. We'll see what item he wants to go for next. And now Chicken MC is going to be spotted out here, but they're just going to run right by each other. Nobody wants to have any part of that. They're going to pop up a Sonic Trap to try and slow him down. He's going to just jump on top of Asway. Is he going to pop the ultimate to try and finish him here? It looks like he's just going to spin and try and get away as there's a lot of damage coming back at him. They swap him back into the middle of the fight. He's got to pop off the Omni Slash instantly. He gets it off, and now Roar and Incarnate, they can turn this around. In comes the Gale from Rolo, but the power shot finishes off Smurf. Now the Malefice from Enigma on Incarnate on the high ground, but Orbit rotates in, and this could be trouble. Animates, picks off Rubik on the backside. Down goes Enigma to Orbit. And that ends up being 3 kills in favor of the Dire team.
Decreed your death.
They only lose Chen for it as well, so not a trade the Dire wanted to make, the Radiant rather wanted to make. Josh Tabak Dota in a really tough spot, 19-12, is going to be the kill lead for the Dire at the 24-minute mark. And now the tier 2 is in bad situation, taking a lot of damage, is going to drop quickly. Will they continue on to the base? They're looking towards the top perhaps. The tower is damaged, however, without creeps in the base, it's going to be difficult to go through that backdoor protection. So instead, they will stay the course on the middle lane. The tower dropping down really quickly. It's going to go down. This is going to be the first tier 3 claims. And now the Rax is going to be focused. Their respawns are coming up momentarily. There is a black hole available, and Enigma has a blink, but they're going to get the melee barracks and be able to back off easily. Well played by Undefined as they claim the first barracks of the game inside of 25 minutes. But now Malefice on Chicken MC as he tries to TP out. They can't catch up to him, though. And it looks like everybody will be safe. And Josh Tabak Dota are going to need something huge to get back into this game. Losing a melee barracks this early, as well as the fact that the tier 3 on the top lane is already low on health and susceptible to a further push. They're going to really have to find something in them that could turn the tide of the way things are going. NMH is just huge. He still hasn't lost that Aegis. And I think he should have another item on the way. We'll see. It's going to be delivered out momentarily. It's going to be a BKB. So a full BKB just like that for Chicken MC. And he is looking so strong. And Juggernaut, not really that hard carry role. Pound for pound, he can't really contest him in that regard. And he's almost past his prime, if you take into consideration the amount of farm on both of them. And we do see the net worth is going to be 4,000 gold in favor for Animage. So despite having that early Midas, Juggernaut gets past as Animage not dying once yet in the game. Part of 10 kills. And here we go. They're going to jump on Tabak. He forced ass back a little bit, but he's taking a lot of damage. He steals the blink from Animage. Is able to get away. Smurf now taking a good amount of damage as well. He's forced to spin. Pause comes out, though, from the Dire team in the middle of all of it. And it looks like a DC. So I'll move away my camera so we don't have to listen to the spin noise for however long it may be. And we'll get right back into it once it resumes. Oh, it looks like might start back up immediately. Oh, and the resume is up. A black hole's gonna catch 3, almost 4, but they don't have enough damage to take anyone down yet. Orbit's dropping pretty low. He is gonna go down. Chicken MC halfway down on health. He has to blink out, and this team fight is looking like in favor of JT. This is the big fight they needed. Enigma does drop. A buyback comes out from Orbit, and now Animage in the back end of the fight, able to pick up a monster kill. He keeps going. Triple kill. He's gonna get an ultra kill. Down goes Venomancer, and Animage with a huge team fight. Able to take down 4 by himself. Smurf, the last hero alive. And now the aggressive blink forward by Chicken MC. Looking to push on to this Rax on the top, which will be exposed as his tower is sitting so low. Battle Fury now picked up by Juggernaut. A really late Battle Fury at 26 minutes. Not sure what he's looking for here. 41 health. Down it goes. And the Rax will be focused. Heroes are going to be down for another couple of seconds. And it looks like this Rax is in the bag. And JT, what can you say? The 1 seed. It looks like they're about to be upset by the 8 seed. Undefined playing a tremendous game right now. 2 full Raxes taken down. Black Hole was used during the last fight, so it will not be available moving forward. And they're just going to go ahead and go towards the bottom lane, try and take down the final tier 2. And maybe just try and push straight through. How long is this Aegis still up for? It's still got 2 minutes left on it. So a decent amount of time for them to try and do so. Chicken MC is relatively alone. Fable comes out, but he will back up. Not too scared of what the Radiant have to offer. And now Templar Assassin still not opting for a Blink Dagger. Goes for a Chrysalis instead. So maximum damage approach from Orbit on his Templar Assassin. He means business. And this tower below half already. Dropping the Plague Wards just to try and slow it down. And the last team fight looked like it was going pretty well for JT, but then Animage getting down to around half health. They still couldn't finish him off, and he just wreaked havoc all over Josh Tabak Dota's lineup. And pings coming out. Everybody in the area still have to be very careful. They're trying to initiate on somebody. Backing off a little bit more, but the Roche timer is getting closer and closer, so now just a minute and a couple of seconds left until Roche will respawn. They're going to back up and try and set up a gank. Oh, and the net comes out. It catches off Smurf. Chicken MC jumps in, though. He doesn't get the BKB off in time. Swapped out, though, by Vengeful Spirit. And now the pipe is popped, and they're going to have a good look. Hand of God comes out. Mech comes out. Chicken MC back to 3/4 health. He jumps back in. Nobody's dead yet. Now Roller drops. Smurf's going to be the next target. He's dropping down to below half. Now they use the power shot on him, and down he goes. The tier 2 on the bottom lane is going to be focused, and GG is called by Josh Tabak Dota. They can't handle it anymore. Chicken MC continues on into the base, and the winners of the first round matchup, the quarterfinals of the Season 15 SECS game is going to be Undefined over the favorites, Josh Tabak Dota. Anything could happen here in the SECS games, and proven in this first matchup. as we see the disconnects coming out. So congratulations to Undefined. They'll be moving forward to play the winner of the replacement for Dota Gaming, because I believe they're not playing, and whoever they were supposed to play, Pain Train, I believe. And I'll have that game for you as soon as it's available. Thank you for everyone that has tuned in. I'm MY John. This is the SCCS Season 15 playoffs. This was your quarterfinals, and now moving on to the semifinals will be Undefined. The underdogs taking it out against the favorited Tabak Dota. See you soon for the next matchup.